Hello everyone, and welcome once again to another What's in the Box with Matt Gentry and myself, Chris Palmares. And we're going to launch off right into the new UP Big Boys. We did an excursion version, also a promontory version, and then some heritage versions that are in restoration as well. And this is kind of a neat thing too. Something that wasn't on the announcement at all was Soundtracks recently did some recordings of that locomotive.
So we've got accurate recordings for the whistle of the big boy under steam, not air pressure. And then they were doing some shakedown runs, so we've got recordings of the locomotive running under steam.
Are we doing anything else with sound on these things?
Yes. So that you can experience those new, fresh recordings, we have updated the speaker assembly into cube speakers, coming with the option to add a second assembly of dual cubes.
Well, isn't there something else that's new about this? I overheard you talking about decoder-controlled smoke generators.
Yes, I would say suggestions in the past, that there isn't a good way to control the smoke unit, or I wish I could turn it off if I don't want the smoke generator running, so on and so forth.
Well, that's a major feature. I've heard a number of customers request a feature like that, so that's pretty exciting. Along that line, there's some new LED animation to this, isn't there?
Yeah. While we were doing some of the tooling modifications, such as for the speakers, we decided to try to include the flickering firebox light.
Oh, fantastic!
Yep.
So this is an upgrade. Maybe not everything has been a new detail part. There's a lot of internal just changes and updates and upgrades and enhancements, and I think this kind of sets a new bar for what a Genesis steam locomotive could be.
Could be, sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, coming right back into this, we have the next locomotive. Is the UP 1111 powered by our people. Now, didn't you just go down to Jenks to do all the measurements for the artwork? How was your trip down there?
Yeah, so we were invited to the Jenks locomotive facility in Little Rock, Arkansas. We're given exclusive access to the locomotive to witness the installation of the vinyl and the graphics and everything like that, so that we as Athearn, and especially with this in our Genesis product offering, we wanted to make sure that the graphics are correct and in the correct locations. When the UP approached us about this locomotive, we want to get this model accurate. So they allowed us onto the facility in Little Rock, and we recorded the placement of the graphics on the locomotive so that our model will be correct.
So boots on the ground, we had every opportunity to get every OSHA label on there, where things met on the doors, where they met the radiators. Yeah, we just had access to see some of the things that maybe not necessarily immediately apparent when you're looking at the locomotive on the side. One of the things that caught me right away was the stripe going right down the top roof line of the locomotive, and that's something that you can't see just by standing next to the locomotive looking at it. Seeing it from a line art come into three-dimensional reality puts this locomotive in a whole new perspective. I think it just looks so cool as a model.
Watching this locomotive come together at Jenks was just an incredible experience. This was sort of one of those locomotives that, I'm not sure that I have to have this one for my personal collection. And whenever I watch this locomotive come together, it's like, yeah, I'm going to get one now.
well, I'm sure it also changed too when you got to meet some of the employees and hang out with them, and talk shop and things like that. It gives it a new dimension of me.
It really does. Like you, like me, we're passionate about what we do with the model railroading aspect. And these guys, this is what they do. This is what they enjoy, and they stand behind what they do and the work that they do every day at the facility. And watching these guys as they were touching it up before it went into the final stage of the paint booth. There's guys walking around with paper cups with the different colored paints in it, and fine tip brushes, the size of my pinky. I mean, not just big 3-inch wide brushes just to slop paint on there, but I'm saying a little fine detail work for a locomotive this size. And to see them proud in what they were working on. And they take that same pride, not just in the special commemorative locomotive, but all the UP Armor Yellow locomotives you see on the railroad today. I mean, they stand behind their work, they're proud of what they do,
Yeah.
They want to do a good job.
Look for it over at James Wright's channel. It'll be on Ken Patterson's channel as well, and then also heading out to John Abaticola in California too. So
Awesome.
there's going to be a lot of opportunity to get a lot more in depth on this locomotive.
Awesome. And I do want to say real quick, the box art on this guy, this was concepted by our wonderful art team out in Long Beach, California.
They do awesome work.
Props to those guys.
Yep. We have another group of 2 locomotives, this time some Lehigh Valley GP38-2s. And this has been kind of a summer project for us, coming into stock here within the next week. It's a very limited quantity. This is a, well, once they're gone type thing. So.
Yeah, it is. These are coming with Tsunami 2.
Right.
But with light bulbs. So these have the 6-function Tsunami 2 decoder in them, powering light bulbs. Yep. And so we have the sound option, and of course we have the traditional non-sound option, and those are coming 8 or 9-pin motherboard.
Right, right. Yeah, so if you head over to Athearn.com, we'll have a link down below. You can head over and check out the Lehigh Valley GP38-2s if you're interested. For the next group, we have the Canadian Pacific GP38-2s. These are the G&D versions, right?
Oh, beauty, eh?
So, Matt, what are some of the tooling that you did to these since they were announced as line art?
So what we have done, the long handrail on the conductor side of the locomotive has a higher second stanchion. Do have the blower chute in the correct forward location, and the handrails match that now.
Awesome.
In order to accommodate the handrails, we revised the walkway and created a new walkway for it, rather, to accept the stanchion mounting for this particular long handrail. The the engineer side, we were noted that the battery box doors were incorrect. So we've cut a new battery box door for the engineer side of the locomotive, but with that, because the kick plate at the forward location of the battery box extends a little bit past it, and there's a step there.
Yeah.
And so we went back and revised the sub base that attaches to the walkway in order to accommodate for that step. The dynamic brake housing was noted that the dynamic brake blister behind the intake
right there
vents, should extend a little bit past it. So we fixed that too.
Wow, so new dynamic brake. Mm-hmm. We have a new battery box subbase underneath on the engineer side.
Right.
I also heard that we cut some new Timken bearings for this model too. Is that correct?
Yes. It was something that we did a couple of months ago, so it's not always fresh. But yes, we do have the Canadian specific roller bearing caps for the V style truck.
Awesome. Wow, that's quite the upgrade. Wasn't there something about the sound on these too that's been updated?
They're now will be delivered with EQ speaker assembly starting with this production run. That includes the CP variation.
So does it affect the other road names too that are being delivered with the CP?
Yes. So not just the Canadian Pacific will have the Cube speakers, all of them in the production will have the Cube speakers.
You've been busy.
Too busy. I need a twin.
I guess that wraps it up, right?
Does that wrap it up? What else we got back behind us? What's in the cardboard box?
Actually, there's just one more thing.
All right, what do you got?
All right,
what's in the box?
What's in the box? So earlier this year, we put out a teaser. This is the new Santa Fe wide vision caboose. Wow, I mean, this is amazing. And I heard you talking about this too. I got the impression that LED lighting is going to be the big standard for all of our Genesis cabooses moving forward.
Yes. So of course we have the Southern Pacific bay window class cabooses. Those have the LED lighting in them.
Right.
We're continuing on with the Santa Fe.
I talked to Soundtracks too, and they said that we've been working with them on something special on this. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
You know all my secrets. This isn't fun anymore. So our friends at Soundtracks have a sound card decoder. So
let's talk about operation. What sort of features can you add to people that do hardcore operation?
So for the operators, we have the air whistle that
no kidding.
Can be that a lot of times is tied onto the back of the caboose. And when the caboose gets imbued with your sound-equipped locomotive, air works in conjunction with what the locomotive does. So if you have to make an emergency brake application, the air sound will dump from the locomotive, but it will also dump from the caboose, which is prototypical.
That's prototypical. This is going to be tying into a new dimension of operation, better than brass detail. And that's a big thing, because some of these brass cabooses have just become completely unfindable.
Unfindable or even unaffordable.
Unaffordable, too. Look for this in a future announcement. Thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you next time.
Yeah, I know. Now I got to go check my desk, see what else you took. Thanks a lot, guys.
Take care.